Hello, morning everyone. Hope everyone's having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. We are on day 7 of the Voron build. So I have continued on the wiring, got all the power hooked up. I'll just show you here. I made a cover to protect the high voltage, and I needed it because if you look there, there's a little scorch mark. I accidentally bumped it where I shouldn't have. Yeah, I didn't take any precautions. Whoops. So I had to find another USB cable, which I did. I crimped a bunch of the cables, but I left a few so that I can show you the crimping that I'm doing and my tools, because I said I was going to do that today. And yeah, I also got the Pi mounted, and I've got Octoprint loaded on there. I also have done the preliminary commands for Clipper, but whenever I try to get Clipper going on the board, the serial port or USB serial port goes away and then it's no longer seen. So I'm going to have to troubleshoot that, and maybe some of you have done that before. So that's kind of, but if I flip back to the original stock firmware, then the Pi sees it. So not quite sure what's going on there. So wiring is the name of the game today. So we've got, the kit came with the correct plugs needed to get us going. So we're going to be using those. And then we'll be wiring the end stops. Because they're only a 2-wire end stop, it's either open or closed. Polarity doesn't really matter, but we're going to make sure that we do them all the same. So all my end stops are purple and gray, so we're going to keep going with that. My crimping tool that I'm using today is this one here. Can't see it there. So that is my crimping tool. It's an IWS 3220M. We will be using the 1.6 crimp, which is the second one from the end there. Teaching Tech actually recommended this one. I had a multi-jaw one that I could change the jaws on, and it had one that worked not bad, but oh my goodness, this one works infinitely better. So I'm very thankful that I saw that tip, because it makes crimping just so much better. So we'll take a few of these out. Now the way it works is you take this side with the little ends here, and you place it like that, and then go till you hear one click. Try not to twist it. I bent it. Let's try that again. So you line it up. You get one click. So if you look on the other side here, come on, this little tab is sitting against this tip. Now this tab here is what holds it in to the plastic connector, so you don't want to crush that. So that sits flat against the outer edge here. And now if you take your wire, it'll slide right in there. So we'll gotta find one the right length. So I don't want too much extra length, but I don't want them too short. So go with that. And then you only want like 5 millimeters or less of wire exposed, because when you stick it in here, let's see if I can get this on camera. There. When you stick it in there, you want the jacket, and so it's another thing. I used the silicone wire seems to have a very thick jacket, so I gotta give it a bit of a squish. It's so much easier to do it when I'm not trying to demo it for a camera. But you push it in, crimp it all the way, and release, and then you pop it out. Now if I did it right, which I didn't, it's supposed to grab the jacket. That would probably work, but we wanted to grab the jacket, so these ones are a little finicky because the wire is so fat. So maybe we will attempt to put it on like this first, so that we're covering our jacket. This is not how I normally do it, because you could normally not get this in the crimper at the same time. This is why I didn't do most of my crimping on camera. Hey, Hilge. Yeah, it is a really good crimper, but these wires are so thick. All right, I'm going to balance that there. And, pardon me, we'll see if we can get it to crimp. Oh. Definitely got it in the right place. Uh-oh, it twisted. It twisted. Don't think that one worked. It did get the jacket and the wire. It's not beautiful, but it's really hard to do this while demonstrating live on air, I gotta say. The smaller wires with the other worked a little bit better. Where did my I'm looking for my tweezers. There we go. There we go. One done. Let's get the other one done. I don't know if you saw, I got the wiring done and I made a cover for the high voltage because Sparky showed up. And I caught the edge of my power supply. So my first priority was to print a cover because it's scorched. So everyone can do it. Be careful when you're working on high voltage. So yeah. And it reinforces the fact that this has no fuse and needs one. All right, let's see how that one worked. Maybe it works better when I'm talking and not trying to pay attention to what I'm doing, because that one worked out really nicely. Or it's just the second one I did and I'm getting better at it with these fat wires. I'm not sure which. There we go. So that one is done. And now we will do the next one. Keep it roughly the same length because they're all roughly in the same spot. What time is it there, Helge? It's got to be evening or late afternoon there. Push that. A couple more of those. Other end. Get the excess wires out of the way. Oh, that's not too bad. 6 o'clock. Alright. Let's see if we can get this one. Ooh hoo hoo. Grab the jacket. Look at that. Now that is a good looking crimp. Grab the jacket. Really hard to show on camera, but that one worked well. So now, gray is that bottom one to keep it consistent. And then we'll do the next one. Dinner time soon. Yeah, I just had some breakfast. So, because it's 10 a.m. here, so. Oh, I gotta get this the right way. Alright, let's see if we can get this in one shot. There we go. Yay, grab the jacket again. Excellent. These are going way better than I had hoped. And then you take your tweezers and you should be able to give it a little shove and it should clip in. There, click. All right. One more to do. And I've color coded them. I've got a black, a blue, and a white. And I wrote down somewhere what colors are what, so later on I'll know how to plug it in correctly. All right. And then the silicone is so soft, I can strip the wire with just the edge of my fingernail. There we go. We'll continue our squishiness. This doesn't stay, goes back very easy, so I don't know. That vinyl stuff, if you get a thick one, it tends to stay a little more. All right, 2 more, and then I'll have to take the cover off to wire up the SSR because I haven't done that yet, and look at the clipper config because I've tried out some clipper. I don't know, Helge, have you done any clipper? When I put the firmware.bin on the SD card and flash it, I lose serial connection for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. So, oh, that one's way too long. Way too long. That looks better. Yep, grab the jacket. Just barely, but that counts. Yeah, so if I put the stock firmware on, the Pi sees the board when I list the serial ports, no problem. When I compile and make the firmware.bin, that is supposed to be for this board, then it does not. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting. I think Gary said, that was on the stream yesterday, said that he just did Clipper for his Delta, I think. Did I do that right? Yes. So he might have some insight. And I'll do some digging around some forums and stuff. It's odd because it's just a very basic config, just so that, from my understanding, is just so that's not working. It can communicate and basically stand up all the pin communication to all the pins on the board. So I'm not quite sure why it decided to kill the serial port every time, USB serial port, every time I go and try to flash it. So I've got the right board. So I don't know if I'm just misunderstanding something, which, I mean, it's the first time I've ever done Clipper, so, you know, it's a learning process. There we go. So now I just got to confirm which end stop is which. And then we can plug it in. All right. And then I'm not going to shorten the cables today for the steppers. I will plug them all in, but I don't really feel like shortening them today. So that's my extruder, or sorry, that's not my extruder. So this is Z. So that'd be this one. Then I got my A and B motors. And that one's got to be, I think, my A motor. Watch, it's a 50-50 chance here. And then that should be my B motor. I do believe. And then, if I'm not mistaken, this is my extruder. So I'm not going to shorten these yet. Just, I don't have the patience for that today. I will shorten it because I want to clean it up. I have tried to route my wires, so I've got my ground. So I solved my ground issue going to the bed because my ground was too thick. So this is actually works out to be thicker than the ground I was using, but I'm using 2 wires, which goes up under the bed. I've grounded it to the SSR and then grounded from the SSR to the power supply. And I have verified, and we'll do it again on camera. So we want to make sure that I've got ground, except there, on various parts. So the frame is grounded, and then if I go under and touch my bed is grounded all the way back to the power supply. So that is good. We are grounded all the way through. Lead screw is grounded. Frame, obviously, if you can get some metal, it's all covered. It's all grounded. So, excelente. So that for safety is good. What I don't like is on the V1, which they changed on the V2, is they give us this power connector unfused. So I'm probably going to swap this out with something else that is fused, so that If I have another incident of whatnot, it's taken care of. Now, I do need to have a connector from here to the SSR, so I need to just confirm the connection, because on the PDF, whoops, I moved my there. I moved the frame. So on the PDF, it indicates that the SSR output input goes to the here on the SKR V1.2. I have a 1.3, so I'm not sure if the configuration is slightly different. So I need to look at that and confirm, because I'm not sure if that pin is the same on the SKR. So I think what I want to do is pull up the schematic. I don't know if that will work. Nope, it does not, which is fine. Let's see if I can share my screen. I think I have a screen share. There we are. So, they say the GPIO pins on the Clipper config are PC13, which is indicated here as PS on, right here. Now, PS on, great. Right now is not connected to anything, and I'm not sure if this is the same. So we'll have to pull up the documentation for because this is a different board. This is the E3D Mini 1.2. So if I find my documentation here, Big Tree Tech SKR hardware 1.2 pin configuration. Yeah, here we are. So this is the 1.2 pin configuration. And let me just share this with you. There we go. So the 1.2 PC13. So they have a power detect right here. So where's power detect? Pro B stop servers power detect. Power detect is PC12 on this one. All right. So what is PC13 on this one? Let's have a look here. Let's look around. PB, lots of PC 14 is the probe on this one. PC 15, PA1, PC 12, PC 8, 9. PC 0, 1, 2, 3. I am not seeing a PC 13 on the 1.2. And in Clipper, they say, I'll just show you here. They say you must use PC 13 for your GPIO pins to start the microcontroller at startup. So I'm assuming they want those communications with the Pi. But maybe that's my issue. But I'm not exactly sure, because if we look at this, we've got, I don't see PA12. Is there PV, PA, PV, PVB, servos? That's fine. SI, ground, reset. I'm not seeing, which is fine. But if you go to the 2, this is the board I have. The power on is PC13. So I don't know if they want us to connect that to the Pi or not. Maybe if it's connected to the Pi, it knows that it's on. I am not sure. So what I can do is I can try to show you. Ooh, that is too small. Let's make this bigger, shall we? Change settings. Window. That's fine. Appearance. Number of rows. Change font. Change the size of the font. No, I want to make the font bigger. Font. 10 point. Oh, there we go. Let's change that to, we'll double the size of the font and see if that, hopefully that's easier to read. We'll restart the session. Restart session. Come on. Oh. Got to power on your printer if you want to connect to the Pi. Just saying. All right. Yeah, I know. We'll restart the session now. It's probably still booting up. Probably even make that font a little bit bigger, I think. Now you know my super secret settings for the Pi. Alright, let's change settings, appearance, change font. Let's go 20. Let's try 24. Apply. Sure. Is that readable? I think that's readable. All right. So when they want you to run the Clipper config because I've already compiled it. And then they want you to make Clipper. And so enable extra low-level functions. So that's what they say you need to have on. STM32 is correct. You can see they have a lot of other controllers in there. Processor, we are the F103. So that is correct. So let's disable SW at startup. No, that's fine. Now they say use the 28K bootloader. So we'll do that. Shouldn't have to choose that. USB is PA11 and 12. Well, I do believe, let's look at PA11 and 12 is USB, so that is correct. And then they told me to put this in. I'm going to leave it out. Because it's not working with it in. I don't know if I need it. So let's leave it out. All right. So now they want us to compile. So I'm just going to do a make clean. And then we'll do a make. And it should be compiling everything we need to do Clipper. Now, I did take the one setting off that they suggested. To set at my microcontroller at startup, because I don't know if that was what was messing me up or whatnot. So now you can see here it's the out file has a clipper.bin. So what we can do is we can take that clipper.bin, put it on an SD card. I just put the SD card in. And then if I open up, I think I have FileZilla open, yes. So we'll just make sure we're on the Pi, Clipper, out, and then here's our bin file, which was compiled a few minutes ago. I'm going to delete the old one I had on here. And I'm going to download clipper.bin. I'm going to we're going to get rid of this one. And we're going to open the folder. Open the folder. So there's our clipper.bin. I'm just going to make a copy of it. And we're going to rename this Firmware.bin because that is what the board needs. And we are going to copy this to here. So there's my clipper.bin that I was trying before, so I'm going to delete that. There's the current firmware, and then I have the stock firmware here also. So I can go back. I just renamed the file. So, all right. Now that that is done, I can eject the USB drive. And then make sure we're still connected. So if I look for the serial connection, as they say to do somewhere in here, where is it? Right here. So they want you to do this command. So right now, it's got the stock firmware on it. So you can see it detects the firmware and detects the board. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll put in this SD card. We'll restart the board. It should flash itself to Clipper, and hopefully it'll either do exactly what it was doing before and not work, or this will change and now be the actual board name for Clipper. So I think that's done. Yeah, so now when it's back to Clipper, I get nothing. So this is my dilemma right now, is I can flash it with Clipper. I can confirm that the SD card has flashed the board to Clipper, but I get no serial connection to the Pi. And that PIO made no difference, GPIO, so no difference. See, no serial connection. But if I take that SD card out, put it back in here. Wait a second for it to come up. There we are. So you can see it did flash it. So I'm going to rename this clip. And then I'll copy the stock. So now it's back to bin. So I've got the stock firmware and I've got the Clipper firmware. I've renamed that. So now if I eject that, put it in the board, if I can get it in the board at this weird angle, and reset the board, let it flash, and then look, it sees it. So not sure what's going on with the I don't know if I have a bad compile of Clipper. We could re-download Clipper. I'll show you how I did that. So it's pretty straightforward. You run the you're going to clone the Clipper repository. So I'm going to do that from the root of my home folder. So you're going to run the Clipper. So apparently it's already there, cloned. Remove. I gotta remember my client. Oh, I probably have to go sudo remove. Yeah, oh, remove dir. Yeah, remove. Oh man, remove dir -r. Yeah, I don't. Ignore fail. Ignore fail on non-empty. This ignores the failure solely because a directory is not empty. Okay. Verbose. I want to remove. Can I just delete? No, it's. I'm sure it's remove directory. Sudo. Or. On T Clipper. All right. What? It didn't work. Could not. Okay. Did that work? No. All right. Apparently my removing directory skills in Linux are horrible and exposed for everyone to see. That's really weird why that's not working. All right, well, either way, if we run the script, so this is what you run to install Clipper. And it goes and gets any repositories that are missing. Oh, there was an error. What was there? Python 2.7 is reached end of life. January 1st, 2020. Please upgrade your Python. Oh, what? Could that be the problem? I am running an old version of Python? Well, I just downloaded this the other day. Weird. well, let's do the Python upgrade, shall we? So now I swear I did this, but whatever, we can do it. We'll update our Python. The virtual environment is already Python 3, so you don't need to upgrade it. All right, well, that's what I thought. So why were we getting the error? Maybe one of their scripts is just old. So it's given Python 3, yeah. Requirement already satisfied. All right, well, it looks like that's already satisfied, so that's not a problem. Can we remove Python 2? Well, let's see what Python version we have, shall we? Yeah, it says we have Python 2.7.16, which I don't want. Yay, there we go. Now it's not looking at Python, the old Python. So let's try that again. And hopefully we'll get no errors. Nope, it's still got an error. Let's try this. Okay. So I have Python 3. And I remove Python 2. Let's see if we still get that error. Why am I getting that warning? Deprecated. Well, it still looks like it worked. So I don't know what's going on, but nothing I do makes Clipper work on here. So we might just have to get Marlin working. which is unfortunate. But what in the meantime, let's we'll leave this because I'm not sure why it is not working. Because we've done all this and it doesn't seem to work. And we will go to, you can see my messy desk from there. There we go. Uh-oh. We will determine which end stop is which. And then we'll, oops, I didn't want that. Bumped the wrong. So let's figure out which one's the X end stop, shall we? So actually this is Y. So let's see if we can find Y, because that's an easy one to press. Really hard to do. Let's turn this off. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. So black is our Z end stop. And our Z end stop goes right here. Right there. So now, let's figure out which one this one is. So one of these this is our Y end stop. And Y is right here. And so then the only other one is this one, which goes right here. There we go. Tried to make that as clean as I could. So there you go. All my end stops are in there. That is not a wire. That is a strand of the fiber stuff. But let's get it out of there anyway. We got our fans. So the only thing we don't have hooked up is they wanted this connected to the board here. So I just don't know why the clipper isn't compiling the board correctly. All right, so that gets basically all our wiring is ready to go. It's a matter of mucking around with Marlin or Clipper. I prefer to try Clipper, but it is not working. So I will have to figure something out there. Well, I have been live for an hour. We got this done, did some troubleshooting. We've got our Pi going. So really, we're to the point where it's almost ready to power up and actually try movements. But I got to get the Clipper thing figured out, because that is very strange. Alrighty, well, I think that is going to be a stream for today. I will do some digging and try to figure out why the SKR, when I flash Clipper, doesn't acknowledge serial port after that, which is really strange. The stock works fine, and I do need to wire up the SKR here. I can show you the default config file. I think it's this. Open with, come on. Yeah, it's too hard to show that on the screen. I'll have to change my fonts and stuff. So well, I think we're gonna call it today. I've got all the end stops done. I got the thermistors done. Everything else looks okay. I'll have to see what kind of values the thermistors are reporting. I will have to double check the other settings. So I think we're done for today. I will update you if you're a Patreon. I'll put a note in the Patreon on kind of where I'm at, and then I will also post to YouTube, updating everyone there, kind of where I'm at. And it's just the Clipper frustration right now. I don't know why it's doing this to me. I don't know if it's the version of Clipper, because I downloaded it right from the repository. I am getting that one error in the Poland repository, so I might nuke it and re-download it. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. If you are one of our Patreon supporters, thank you so much. You guys make a lot of these projects happen. So thank you so much to all of you for helping out. Helge was here today in the chat, hanging out for a bit. And thanks to Stig, Raymond, Jim, and Dominic, all for helping out and supporting the channel. And I'll figure this out, and then I can do a when I do my full kind of review, I can go over exactly how to get Klipper working, what troubles I ran into, and hopefully by then I'll know why. So anyway, see you next time. Bye.